Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm back for episode 2 of the Little Golden Book start to finish tutorial. So today we're going to be working on the signatures. If you remember, I said if you're following along at the end of the first episode, I said today you're going to need the book pages from your Little Golden Book, as well as any papers, dyed papers, vintage book pages, scrapbook papers, whatever you may want. We're just putting the signatures together today. We're not actually binding them in yet because I'm also going to do something else. So let me show you. So this is the cover. It's all nice and stuck down now, and I am really loving this fabric. If you haven't seen the first episode, I'll leave it linked down below. There will be a playlist as well. And these are the pages from within. Now I'm going to do, I think, either 3 or 4 signatures. I haven't decided yet, but either way, I want the story in order. And there's a few ways you can do that. As you can see, because we've cut the golden book down, it's now just over 6 inches. These pages are far too big to actually fit in as is. Now there are ways you can do this. I know a lot of people, that's the wrong way around. I know a lot of people cut off the edge. I don't like doing that because I like to be able to read the story. So a few years ago I came across a tutorial. I'm really hoping I can find it, but it probably was about 2 years ago. But I'm hoping I can find it, where someone actually, so this isn't my idea, it was one that I'd seen. They actually shortened the pages and stitched them together. Now I like this for 2 reasons. One, you get to keep the full page, or most of it at least, depending if you have to trim any off the edge. And 2, you get stitching, which we all know I enjoy. And then you can keep the actual book together and actually read it as is. Now I've chosen 2 different coloured threads. I've gone with an orange thread and a pale blue. You don't have to, you can just use one thread, and I'm going to show you that you don't need to stitch if you don't want to. So first things first, because our cover's about just over 6 inches, we're going to do our pages. As you can see, it's literally just over 6 inches. We're going to do our pages at 6 inches. Now this works best if you have a mat that actually has the inches measurements on it. You could probably use a scoreboard as well, or just use a ruler and a pencil. I'm going to use my mat. You're going to take the page, so this is the way it would look in the book, but we're going to turn it on its back so that it's open at this end and that we've got the spine at this end. Then, because it's the perfect height, that doesn't matter, I'm just going to line it up. I'm going to see where 6 is, and I'm actually going to fold the spine up to 6 inches. Again, you could do this with a pencil mark, you could do it on a scoreboard. So I'm going to fold the spine up. So again, this is the front. Turn it over so that it opens here. Got the spine, and we're going to fold it. And I'm just going to fold it backwards and forwards along this ridge. That didn't do very well. There we go. Just to make it really malleable, and then take your bone folder and burnish that edge so that it's nice and flat. So there we go. So that should be 6 inches now. So let's do that again. So again, I'm going to take the page, turn it, put it on whatever measurement, whatever you're using as your measurement, or if you're using your ruler. Fold the spine over on 6 inches. Really press down. I like to then do it both sides, and then use a bone folder. The back of a scissors will do. use your nail if that's all you've got. I'm just going to put it inside so I remember which order. Last page, exactly the same. This is the front that opens. We're going to turn it, put it down, fold up at 6 inches. And burnish. Again, I normally like to turn it both ways, and the reason for that is because I don't know which way I'm going to put the crease, which you will understand in a minute. So there we have it. So if I just put that in here, okay, so now when we open it, it looks like this. It's folded. You're going to press the middle of the spine so that it looks like this. So again, flat, press the middle up, and you will see you've got a bend, a crease on both sides. Now here comes the bit that is completely up to you. So you're basically going to fold it over. And what you want to do is fold it on the page that you think it least affects. So either of these would work, but I cut off the little cat's paw there, so I'm going to put it here and then fold it up, and there all of a sudden our page is now 6 inches and will fit inside our journal. So again, I'll show you on the other 2 pages. I'm going to have that one that way. So let's do the middle page. So we've got the crease. I'm going to open the book page up. You've got the creases here. This was the original spine. Going to poke that up. And you've got a crease either side. So again, it's going to, if you look at it from the top, it's going to look like that. And then we're going to decide which way. Do you know what? On this page, it doesn't matter which way. But I like that we get more of the leaf and we don't cut that off. So I'm going to do it this way as well. Okay. Final page. Open it up. Where the spine is. Poke the spine through. Just move the crease. And let's look. Do you see what I mean? Like on this one, I'm actually going to do it this side because we cut off a little bit of this black bit here. But none of the words, so I can still see all the words. But if I do it this side, I'm cutting off part of the bear and leaving this big white strip. So I prefer it here because the white doesn't stand out as much. Does that make sense? So we're actually going to do that one on that side. Now, here's what you could do. I am going to stitch, but, so we've decided that it's going to be on this side, because then it doesn't cut the cat's paw off. Now, if you are not stitching, what you will need to do is get your glue. You'd need to glue this side. So let's just do a rough bit. I don't want to do too much because obviously I'm going to stitch. Otherwise my glue not coming out. I'll tell you what, I'll use my other glue instead. If I can find it. It's always what you need that isn't there. Right, let's just use this one. Okay, so you'd glue, if I'm sticking it here, I'm going to glue here. None of my glues want to work today. How frustrating. Right, hold on a second, guys. Okay, so I'm just using this glue because I'm going to stitch. If you're going to do it, use a glue that sticks well. So again, we're going to stick it down here. So I would glue along this edge like so, and then press that down so it would be glued. And obviously this still flaps, so you're then going to glue along the inside by the spine here, bend it over and stick. So I hope that makes sense. Let me get a different sheet because that's now stuck. You can see it's stuck. Let me get one of the others. Oh, it's coming off a little bit because I didn't use as much glue. Use a really good glue. As I said, I'm not, because I'm going to stitch. So again, if I take a sheet of paper, if I take one of the other pages, if you're going to glue, you'll glue on the inside bit that's going to attach to the page. So I would glue here, because that's going to stick there. And then I would turn it over and glue the bit along this spine so that this crease sticks to it. So you would end up with it all glued together and down like that. So I'm just going to stitch mine, and I will be back trying to keep it so that they're in order. And I will be back once I've stitched these together. Hi guys, so I've stitched them together, you can see. So again, I've put it on the side that doesn't lose much of the image. Doesn't bother me if the stitching's not straight. And again, you don't have to stitch, you can use glue. I like the effect of stitching, but I know not everyone has a sewing machine. Now you'll see that they poke out the edge a little bit because they might not be exact, but you know what? You can trim that, or use fabric and stuff, which we may do. So there are my signatures. They're all stitched, they're all ready to go in. They will fit inside the book. And they're in order. Now, if you don't care if your pages are in order, you don't care if you're reading the little golden book, if that doesn't bother you, you can still use this technique and put them throughout all the signatures. I will have 2 signatures that will have the actual pages from the books in, and then I'll either have 1 signature or 2 signatures where you don't have pages of the book. I need to work out what I'm going to do. Anyway, so these signatures will have less scrapbook paper and things like that, and then you'll have at least 1. I might do 4 signatures. Okay, so let's get started. So that's that way. All right, so I have all my scrapbook paper and other bits in this large bag. So I'm just going to grab everything, all the papers and bits, and then we will start putting together, oh gosh, our signatures. Stuff flying everywhere. I like to have these project bags or boxes or whatever to keep everything in, so it's all in one place. So I have a couple of different kits. So first, this is an Anna Griffin pad. I have both the paper pad and I'm just looking for it, and the card pad. So this is the collection. It is her Fifi and Fido collection. Does it have like a number? I've had this for a very, very long time. It's super, super bright, as you can see. It has cute dogs. I've used a lot of it. Oh, I might take those out. They might work depending on size. Yeah, I've used a lot of it already. It has these cute dogs. Obviously, this is a cat journal, so we're not using the dogs. It has this beautiful page here with cats and dogs. And I have the card one of those. Let's see if I can grab it. So this is actually the card version of the Fifi and Fido collection. And it's actually, I don't know if you can see, but it has some glittered. Let's turn this over so you can see the number. It has glittered cardstock. This is flocked, glittered, nice and thick. All this is double-sided, where the papers are one-sided. All glittery here. Yeah, same paper. Look at this. It's so bright and fun. I love it. Oh, this is flocked. This is probably one of my favourite papers, and probably just because it's dotty. So I'm going to take these because we might need these actually. So yes, I'm using Anna Griffin. I have a whole selection of those. from the Fifi and Fido collection. Then I am using these, which are just a random cat scrapbook paper that actually came in some cheap pack years ago that I have. You can see they're nice and bright. I love this poor one, but it has no information on the back as to where they came from. Then I've got these bright, fun, colourful pages, which are lovely. You can see, goes with the kit. And these are pieces of me. We have Ice Cream Parlour patchwork, the Ice Cream Parlour flavours, which is lovely. I think that's the patchwork one again. And Ice Cream Parlour Super Stripe. So I'm using those. And then I also have these. Now these are obviously a more muted colour, but I still think, especially this green one, will definitely work. And this is Karen Foster design, and this is Cool Kitty Stripes. I've had these for years, so I don't even know if you can still get these. Then I have this one, which again is very muted, but that's okay. And again, it's the Fat Cat Collage, Karen Foster Designs. Then we have this fun one, same thing. And this is the Kitty Condo. So I have 2 sheets of each of those. And then this great beans, because cats and dogs' paws are beans. And this is, I love those paws. So I have those. And then by Kaisercraft, I also have all these stickers. And then this is Alicia Gordon, an Echo Park set of stickers. And this is a Bella Boulevard like set of cut aparts. Do that so you can see. Hopefully you can see. And I have lots of vintage book pages. They're all the wrong way around now. Lots of vintage book pages here with cats and kittens and all these kind of things, all vintage. This does, even though it has a pink elephant, does have a little lovely Siamese cat. So yeah, lots of those. And then I have a selection of hand-dyed papers, some marbling that my kids have done, some of my own hand-dyed unicorn papers, and then lots of different colours, lots of different thicknesses. So I think I am going to do 4 signatures. I've made my mind up now. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use the thicker card. So I'm going to use this one, nice and thick and glittery. I'm going to use this cute one. And then it's in green. And then I don't think I'm going to use that one, because if I fold that over, you're going to see more dog than cat, which won't work. I'm wondering if I've got a flocked one that I can use as a middle signature. Yeah, I've got one. It's lovely and dotty. Still got this one actually in greens and that. Oh, we've got this. No, I'm going to go for the dots. So they are going to be the covers for each of my signature. I like to, when I'm doing little golden books, I like to actually have a scrapbook card on the outside of each signature, even before you see the pages. So we're going to cut these down. They're obviously 6 by 8, which is perfect because these are 12 by 12. So all I need to do is cut off 4 inches. So get it to 8. That's the first one, and keep these because you can use them. This is so cute on the other side too. Oh, I feel so bad chopping at the kitties. No, I'm sorry, cute ones. I really do need a new paper trimmer. But everyone I've tried, like I've brought a couple of others, and they weren't as good as this one was, and I've had it years, but I need a new one. So I don't know. most frustrating. And then, yeah, this one, which is super cute and glittery. This is going to be a very bright journal, but my girls are very bright, as in like cute and lovely. And then we're just going to fold these over. Love, it's great that they're double-sided, because then you get a lovely colour each way, a lovely pattern rather each way. Use my bone folder again, just to burnish the edge. Again, I may be doing some trimming. I don't like when pages are not the same length. I know some scrapbookers, no, I'm talking about scrapbookers because scrapbook paper I'm working with. I know some junk journalers don't, but I like to trim mine to be similar lengths. But I don't mind if they're not exactly the same length, because again, that's why you add like ruffles on the edge and things. But yeah, do you know, the feel of this paper is absolutely yummy. It really is yummy. I mean, I don't know if you can look. I'm going to get it up as close as I possibly can, but this is all flocked. So that's the inside of there. Got the inside of here, the inside of here, and the inside of here. So obviously I'm going to want a cat at the beginning. Yeah, I'm going to want a cat at the beginning. I'm thinking maybe like this. That's what I'm thinking. So there we go. So the story will be in the first one. That it will be in the cat ones. So let's just do that. And again, you can see it hangs over a little bit over the edge. But that's okay, because I can trim that off. I can add ruffles. I can do all that. So that's those. Now, each one is going to probably have between probably about 5 to 6 pages. Now, these already have 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've already got 4 pages. So they only really need 2 to 3 more. And so in these ones, because we've got the story, I may put more of the scrapbook papers, I don't know, or more plain papers. I want a vintage piece in each, because I love vintage pieces. I love this one. It says Granny's Cat. So I'm just going to fold these randomly. I'm not going to fold them like at 6 inches, because firstly, they're not. This is only 9 and a bit inches and 7 inches. So I'm not going to do that. So we've got that one. Look at the babies. Kangaroo on the other end, but you know. We've got this that says the muddle-headed cat. I might just cut that out and make that into a tag. Fun at the seaside. Hold on. Sorry, someone at the door. So fun at the seaside, I want this one because of the bright colours. So again, this one is 10.5 by just over 7. So I could fold this more. I like doing slightly lopsided ones. It's just what I like to do. So I definitely have to have Toffee in Trouble. You will see there is no kitty cats there, not even on the other side. But one of my kittens that I'm making this for is called Toffee. So I couldn't not have this in here because Toffee Trouble. Although actually she is not anywhere near as bad as her sister. So, you know. So we've got this, but this will have to be cut down. Got the cat. I don't think I like that one. I quite like this because there's a, I think this is a cat. It could be a dog. It might be a dog because it's quite big and the tail's quite big. But it could be. Let me have a look. We've got Bonnie and her cats. Okay, I'm going to do that one instead because that's just too cute. It's too cute. We've got 2 little cats on here, as you can see. We've got one here and one here. So, yes, got to do that one. Let's just make sure that these fit. Yes. Perfect. Right, so they're the vintage book pages. I'm not going to use all my vintage cat ones up because, you know. So let's put these one in each signature. Doesn't really matter. I may have Granny's cat in here. Toffee Trouble in there. And then put the brighter ones in here. So I'm not thinking too much about it right now. I'm just getting the signatures ready. Okay. So now we're going to look. I want to use some of these because they're so bright. And I really want to use these in the one that doesn't have any of the book page. Now, the problem with these is, and I really hate this, they don't do it so much now, is they've got all the lines for cutting, which is great if you want to use it like that. I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this edge bit here that's got cut lines on it. I'm going to trim that off because I don't want to see that bit. I've got this strip that I can use in something. And then I'm actually going to fold this up. So again, I'm going to use my mat. I'm going to fold it into a pocket. It needs to be at about 8. So I'm going to make sure it's at 8. And I'm going to fold it up here. Just above 8. So that I know. I mean, to be honest, I can cut the top off a little bit if it's too big. But that gets rid of all this stuff down here. Obviously, it doesn't get rid of that line, but I'm not as bothered about just a single line. Now, where did it go? I'm not as bothered by that as I would be all that stuff. And now let's just... Do you know what? It's so hard to fold things on camera. I'm usually standing up looking at it. Let's do it this way and see if I can fold it this way better. There we go. So now I'm going to have a little pocket in my journal because there's always things you can put in a pocket, and that's just so bright and fun. And yeah, there's that, but that doesn't matter too much. So we've got one pocket. So let's make this into a pocket as well. If you are doing this, make sure if your paper's directional, you don't mind it when it's turned upside down to make the pocket. So like none of this is directional, really. It can be either way. But if it was words and things, you might be like, I don't know. The words are upside down. So again, I'm just going to line that up. Fold up, press down, burnish the edges, then fold it. I'm folding it this way so that I can see the edges. That's good, good, good. And again, it can be trimmed. So we're going to have those in the 2 that have no, none of the book pages in. So these 2, perfect. Okay, let's have a look at other papers that I might want. So I want some of the paws. So let's have a look. I definitely want one of these. I love this one with the cat, but unfortunately the cat's on this side, and if I fold it here, you're only going to see it on that side. I mean, that's not an awful thing, but also it does irritate me a little bit. So let's have a look at what others I've got. I know I'm a bit off to the side. There we go. This is super cute, but again, it's on this side. So I don't know how I feel about that. Let's have a look, look. Where's my other ones? Where's the dark brown ones? Ah, right, they're all under here. Oh, that's one I've already cut, so I'm going to use that. All right, how many sheets have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to use this one. Okay then, move the papers off to the side. These are just going to be normal pages. There's nothing on the back of that, so that's good. Just cut it down to 8. So yeah, just work out what you want, where you want it. There is something on the back of here, but what I can do about that is firstly try and cut as much of it off as possible. There you go, it's all off. Brilliant. So we've got this bit. Now if I was going to use that in the journal, I could make that into a pocket. We've got this one already cut. This one has nothing on the back, so let's have the kitty cats at the top, shall we? Perfect, so that's 4 more pages, and then we're going to put some actual papers in there too, because I want some papers in the plain in the journal that has the book pages in, the little golden book pages in. So yeah, I know a lot of you will know how to cut papers and fold them and all that kind of thing, but I just thought I would do this anyway on camera so you can see me doing it. Watch me go silent as I'm lining up the edges. So yeah, so let's have a look. Now this has got book pages, so we've got 1 vintage, so I don't need these. I can put 2 in here, so let's put these 2 in this one, and these 2 in this one. Okay, let's get some actual papers now. So, all right, so we've got some of this marbling. That's something my son did. Let's check size. Right, this is just over 8 inches. So I'm going to trim it down first. I'm actually going to keep the side with the holes in. You wouldn't have to if that's not your aesthetic, if you don't like that. I do. And I would even keep this strip. 1, because it's precious to me, because it's from my son. Is this just over? It's just over 8. Okay. Let's just cut this down to size a little bit too. Okay, this should be about 8ish. If you can hear that jingling, that is my little Binksy Boo's collar. So yeah, okay, so we've got those, but we've only got 3 of them. Okay, let's just grab a normal page and do one of those in there. I prefer thinner papers, but I just grabbed what I had that I thought would work. So obviously you're going to lose a little bit of your page if you are using the normal A4 size, but that's okay. Or I'm okay with it. Let's do that. And obviously they're going to be just under 6. So be aware of that. If you're just using A4 type papers, which is your usual 8, and it's the usual 8 or 8 1/4 by 11 1/2 size. That's the usual size. They will be shorter than your 6-inch pages. And again, that's up to you if that bothers you or not. It really doesn't bother me. I like things to be different sizes. It makes journals a bit more interesting. Where I'm always losing my bone folder. Always. most frustrating. Anyway, let's put these in some books. So I'm going to put this one in here. Again, as you can see, I'm not thinking about it too much. Put this one. I'm kind of adding more colour to the ones that have less colour in them. So let's have a look how many pages we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I say one more page in those, and we still need to fill these up. These ones only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they have 6 too. Okay, cool. So maybe one more page in each. Again, I'm just grabbing, these are all hand-dyed papers. I'm just grabbing some and folding those over. I have to trim these down a little bit as well, but I'll do that once they're actually folded. So we've got a yellow. I've got a nice blue one here. Again, it's perfect. I mean, I'm not, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know, I'm not one to really go all out on colours. It's not really me. Nice pink one. I like either more grungy neutral colours, greens and browns and all that kind of thing. Or I like dark reds and things like that. So we've got a yellow, a blue, a pink and a purple. Okay, let's trim each. I've just seen my bone folder. Let's trim each of these at 8. So I can just trim the edge off. Again, when you're doing something like this, try and keep the more interesting bits if you're having to chop stuff off. Just try and keep the interesting pieces if possible. Okay. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just found my bone folder. Let's really bring these down. And then let's have a look. So I've got these. So let's go for a nice, because that's got a purpley, let's go for a nice blue in here. Or a pink actually, let's go pink. In here we've got all sorts of colours. So let's go for a nice yellow. And in here, I think I'm going to go for the blue actually. And in here, we're going to go for a bit of purple. Although that's quite purpley. So let's change this up and put that in there and blue in here. So let's have a look. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The outer one. Let's check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Now I could add another page or two, but the thing is with little golden books, they get really chunky. So although right now that doesn't look like a lot, it will do when it gets filled up. I am wondering, should I add another page though? Should I add another sheet of paper? Try and think how it will look when it gets super, super chunky. You will know what your journal is for. If it is just a normal journal, it might be a good idea to add a few more pages. And I have decided to do that. Okay, so let's quickly do this. Just because it gives me more pages to work with. And I don't really like covering up vintage book pages or the actual pages of the book itself, the little golden book. So there is that. Just do this. These are all thicker as well, so be aware of that. If your paper's thinner, then it's probably best to add more pages, but I wouldn't add more than, say, 8 or 10. I wouldn't add more than that if you're doing up to 4 signatures or more. Let's just chop these. But yeah, these ones here, these pages that I'm doing right now are a lot thicker. Let's see if I can get 2 done at once, just to save time. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, nice and quick, and then we're just going to add them to the signatures. So I've already got a pink one in here, so let's go for a blue. We've got yellow and that in here, so let's go for purple. We've got blues and that, let's go for a green. And then let's add a pink in here. That was quick. Sorted, done. Now, what's also fun to add is if you've got little offcuts like this, it's fun to add them as mini pages throughout. I may or may not do that. I don't know. I think it's got enough pages at the moment. Okay. So they are looking good. Now, let me just move everything. Okay. So what I want to try is something that I have seen, well, actually first what we're going to do is we're going to put the signature together. So we've got the different pages. I want this to be a middle page, although I might put a small page in, and we've got these to put throughout. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to see what works. Might be nice to have the pink. That's quite close to that pink actually. So let's have a nice muted purple. No, I'm going to go for the blue. I like the blue. Stop overthinking it, Belle. Then we're going to have a book page. I think I like the pink here because it pinks up the pink in the cat's bow. This would be the middle page. I am wondering actually if I want this in the middle because I can cover all this and write on it. So I think I might do. And then we have another book page. So it's for the bow. The blue would pick up too, or they can have the blue there. Because I don't want too many blues together. Unless I just don't have the book page as the middle and just have it like so. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Overthinking far too much. Now, we have no book pages in here. We just have the scrapbook paper, which will act for me as the book page. I'm going to put this one in the middle because it's a double pocket. So that's the middle. So what goes well with the front? I think that goes quite well because it's lots of clear space. So inside, let's go for a bit of bubble. Some of this. Got, do I want that one? Yeah, that'll do. We've got this fun book page, this, and this. Again, I'm going to cover these up because I can put pictures and that on there because they're not to do with the cats, but I want to keep that. And I've got paper to actually write on. That's sticking out a little bit, so that will be trimmed. Okay, and again in here, I'm going to get the book pages out so that they're like that. And this is what we've got to work with. Well, I already know we're going to do a middle. There's lots of pinks and purples in there, which will go great with this. And then I'm going to put the book page in the middle like I did in the other one. So then we need something to work in between these. I think this works really well because the yellows and purples goes really well with here. And again on that side, which leaves us with green, which actually works really well here. So just picking up a few colours. Last signature. This is another one that's got the scrapbook paper instead of the book. This is the middle. And then we have these two. I feel like I want this at the front because it's a bit more interesting. But then, oh, that goes so well, actually. So we're going to do that. There you go. Changed my mind. Changed my mind. Do we want some pink? I think I might want this one, actually, because it's quite a lot different. And then maybe a plain blue. Then that's going to go in. We're going to have a nice plain pink here, which will pick up the pink of the elephant in the book page. And that also, we've got some pinks and blues there, but you just see like the colours work so well on there. So that's perfect. A few more plainer pages, but we need that because we need it for the actual, for journaling. Get your words, Belle. So there we go. It's cute, lots of different papers. So now I am going to just trim some of the edges to make sure that it fits really nicely. And then we're going to move on to the next bit. Okay, so they're all trimmed now. I've left a little bit on the edge of each of the actual covers, like a little bit poking out, because I don't mind that. But there was a lot poking out before then, so that bothered me. Okay, so our signatures are basically put together. And now I'm thinking, do I want to attach anything? So this is the point that you could use envelopes, which I'm going to use some of those. You can add bags. You can add anything that you think might work. So I am going to do that. Now, I saw this on Louisa Heinzel's and I actually really liked how it was done. So she attached them on the envelopes and things and then stitched down it. Normally I would glue to make a tuck spot, but I quite liked how she stitched down it. So I think I'm going to add one of those in the front one. I'm going to add an envelope to one of these. I'm wondering where I want to add it. Maybe here. So we've got this, like, this is just a dyed envelope. It's not super bright, but it doesn't have to be. Might put it there to add a bit of interest on that page. And again, it goes over, but I don't like it covering up any of that actually. So I'm going to put it here. Could obviously put it on the other side as well. So why don't we do that? So that you can see that it can be put on either side. So that's that one. This one's going to have another CD sleeve. Put it at the front. I think I want it back here, you know. Makes me laugh because I could put a picture of Toffee in there actually. So that's that. And there is a reason I'm doing this now. Now, normally you wouldn't need to be honest. Normally you could add these afterwards, but there is a reason I am adding them now. Do I want that there or do I want it somewhere else? Like, I think that's too much. No, actually that's not too bad. So yeah, there's also a little one. I could have added a little purple one on top anywhere, but I might add that inside. I'm not going to add any paper bags. I was going to, but I'm quite happy with how these are for the moment. So yeah, so you would add your paper bags and that as well if you're adding them to your pages. Now I am going to attach these through a bit of stitching, so I will be back after I've done that. You can of course glue them. So I've stitched those all in, and I will just say, I mean, it seems obvious, but if you're like me, sometimes you don't always think before you do things. But if you are going to stitch something like this on, make sure that when you put it through the sewing machine that you open it up so you're just stitching this side, because if you did that, then you would have stitched this together as well, which would make it useless. So I know it seems obvious, but I have done many things like that before in my life where we just don't always think. So let's have a quick flick through. So this is the first signature. It's going to be this lovely green. Got the inside. Here's the story. We flip it over. We've got this flip out. We've got the second page of the story. You can see, like, this is what I mean. Like, I had bent this instead of actually doing it by the spine. So again, it doesn't bother me, but you know. Next bit of the story, pages, grannies, cats in their vintage book page. So that's the first signature. This second signature has this beautiful flocking on it. Open it up. It's full of very bright colours. You need sunglasses for these. Lots more pages to work on in here. We have this cute one. We have this lovely vintage book page. And then right in the middle, we have this double pocket. And then if we look towards the back, you'll see Bonnie and her cats there. And I've stitched the envelope on there. I have left it so I can make this into a tuck, should I wish. But yeah, so that is the second signature. Make sure everything's in. Third signature. And again, so it's the story is still in order. It's such a cute little book. I really love how these two pages work together. And then, yeah, that opens up. Toffee trouble. Oh, that's just going to make me giggle. I love how that page looks as well with the blue stitching and the purple paper. And then they've got lots of blues and purples and pinks there. It works so well together. Look, and that's the end of the story where all the paint pots in the world with the cats have knocked them all over, and you've got all these colours, which inspired me picking up the papers that I did. And the final signature, which looks a bit like, if I get up this, do you see even the swirls that look almost like the flowers? Let me move that into the centre so you can see it a bit better. So yeah, paw prints, so cute. And even though this is brown and a darker colour, it still works well because it's got pale blue in it. Love this fun at the seaside as well. We have the double pockets. And here is the envelope here, which I've actually put on this brown, which is quite nice. So yeah, they are our 4 signatures. I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm going to do something in the next video. I'm going to use spray inks. So like my oxides, and I've got some of these as well, and I'm going to use them. I'm going to use a technique that I saw on Louisa Hines' channel. If you don't want to use that, you can just ink in general, but that will be episode 3, and I will be back with that soon. So I hope this was helpful, and we're on our way. We've got part of our cover, we've got our signatures, and yeah, our journal is coming together really nicely. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this was a little helpful, and I hope you keep following along with this tutorial and watch episode 3. I will be back again soon. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in your world, I hope you're having lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.